Team Sleepy Toast went around Singapore to record different soundscapes. We wore our handy-dandy phone hats and used a custom app to record distinct sounds around Singapore. We curated 10 sounds and asked the workshoppers to write down a word to describe each sound. Some people wrote down guesses for the space, descriptions of the sound, or feelings they had about the place. We wanted to create an activity that celebrates pluralism and the way everyone makes sense of place.
The activity yesterday.
Where we picked the sounds?
Well, yeah.
It was kind of fun. There was like a quiz on the internet.
I probably got like 4 or 5 right or close. And to me that was totally interesting. So that means some of the things I have in my mind what that would be.
What was the most memorable sound from last night's activity?
The first one that pops in my head is the Art and Science Museum.
Art Science Museum.
Art and Science Museum.
That one was definitely the most familiar because we had just been there, and that noise was so recognizable for the area that the second you played it, we all knew exactly where it was.
Everyone's just like, and then when that sounded, I was.
Anyone want to guess where we are?
Is that a guess?
And was also definitely the most uniquely representative noise out of all of them of that place.
I mean, I imagine I was at the place again. I immediately saw the Lotus with the projection mapping on it and the bridge with the blue lights.
Right, so I think one of the things was very interesting was a lot of people identified the Art Science Museum. I've been to Art Science Museum many times. It just happened last night, they played that music for the display. So even though I heard it the night before, I didn't put down Art Science Museum because I didn't feel like that music belonged to that space. So that's temporal. And I think the other one I remember the most is like, I think that was in Daiso or the fashion thing, the young sound, the music.
Why did you think it was Daiso as opposed to any other store?
Because the background music is similar to the ones that is played in Daiso, or maybe the music is Japanese.
The reason why I say Daiso is because I think that's the shop that you can go find a lot of things, like the $2 shop. They had clothing, decoration, hair kind of stuff too. Yeah.
And what about the sound made you think of clothing shop?
I think the music was happy.
Okay.
Reminds me the feeling of Daiso. And Matt asked, is Daiso a mood? Well, I mean, it's a store, but it's a store that gives me the mood or give me the feeling of being a Japanese culture-ish place.
What was the most memorable sound from last night's activity?
I guess the one from the Indian sound.
The sound in the temple.
The temple.
Little India, this is kind of annoying. A lot of Indian noises, like music, has that noise, like nasally, I would describe it.
They have a very distinct type of music that I think a lot of people picked up on right away.
Like, I didn't know it was Indian music, but I associated it with like a Chinese opera or like ancient musical instrument. So for me, just feel like a temple thing.
I mean, it's a sound I've grown up very familiar with. And also, it's the kind of sound that's demonstrative of the space. You won't find a random person playing that someplace else.
I really thought that was a Chinese temple. I didn't know that was Indian one. So for me, it was very interesting because it's not the same, but somehow the ambient was similar.
I guess it reminded me of tradition, the Indian tradition.
It was something unique. It felt more genuine, perhaps.
The other sounds were more of a recorded Western music, which could be somebody's playlist, like it could be any passing person's playlist in any space.
Some of the other ones, they all had a lot of similar qualities, and it's just people talking in a market. The temple was a little bit different.
This specific sound is not something you would hear any place other than that space, so it was very distinct.
The others are more constructed. I don't really like constructed places. They're still places, but they're not as real to me.
Place is more than just physical space or functional interaction. Place is like a conversation where people with different backgrounds, different mindsets, different perceptions weave their realities into one another. And place lives on in the hearts of people who've shared an experience together.
What do you guys feel about this place?
It's small.